Hello, my name is Shannon McNeal. I am a fourth year student here at the University of Iowa. However, I like to say that I am in my junior year part 2 because I will be doing a fifth year. Yes, a fifth year here at the University of Iowa to continue my college career. I am studying Spanish and Chinese. Those are my majors, and minoring in Arabic and linguistics. I almost forgot because it's a mouthful. However, this journey has been very rewarding outside of just the academics itself. When I am thinking back to why I chose to study languages as a college career, I think back to high school and how I really enjoyed my Spanish class, my Spanish teachers, everything that I was able to get from the culture itself, and also because I personally have been in situations where I'm always considered or feeling like the other, if that makes sense, and being a part of the many cultures of the languages that I am now learning has helped me not feel so much as the other, and it's showing me what more there is to offer outside of the United States. So that has been very beneficial to my own personal growth. But yeah, with learning Spanish in high school, I was like, you know what, I didn't want to be a STEM major. I know there are other things you can do outside of STEM, but I was great in Spanish, so I just continued on with that and was like, hey, 2 more languages wouldn't hurt me, right? And so here we are. I'm also a first generation student, so college was already a big thing that needed to happen in my lifetime. So here we are. Let's see, what other questions? What motivated you to study all these languages? Okay, that's been answered. Where do you see your language skills taking you in the future? So first year Shannon had big goals for herself, and I'm not saying there's problems with having big goals for yourself. I thought I was shooting for the stars, but I was actually shooting for a different galaxy, because freshman year Shannon wanted to work as a UN ambassador and work with translating conversations and documents and all that jazz, which is great, and props to anyone who chooses to do that. However, that's not the route that I am going on anymore. Right now I am looking at teaching English as a second language abroad, because now that's the biggest goal. I want to live abroad. I think there's more for me outside of, like I said, the United States. I'm interested in seeing what else in the global context and within global literacy the world has to offer. So that is where we are going with that. However, I have noticed that learning languages opens a lot of doors. You wouldn't expect the doors that it opens, but I have been recruited, interviewed, been shown interest by others, not specifically for the language themselves. I have talked to people that I never thought would have anything to do with my major. For example, I have been interviewed for STEM companies that have taken credit to the hard work it takes to learn a language, and that's how they have shown their interest in me, which is really cool because I never thought that I could do anything outside. I always thought it was translating or something within the human rights sector, which is I'm still open to, immigration reform specifically. However, there's a lot more information and learning I need to do to be able to do that. So we're taking things step by step. But yes, if you are learning a language, don't try to put yourself in a box, because employers definitely look at everything your language encompasses. So if they see that you spent 4 years learning 3 languages at once, that shows that you are dedicated to what you want to do and the time that it took to do those things, which I never thought employers, did the whole encompassing of what it means to study a language. However, they do. So take that as you will. I mean, with the Army, things like that, there have been a lot of opportunities, which made it hard to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I know sometimes people are like, oh, well, I don't have this many options. What am I gonna do? Where my instance is, I have too many options and too many things that I'm interested in doing. That has been, I'm very grateful to be able to be recognized by those attributes as well. Also, because of the many cultures that I have been learning and the issues and disparities within learning the culture of these languages, it also has opened me up to DEI initiatives and such, social work. Like I said, there are many things that I am interested in. Back home, I actually started a QC BLM support group that helps my community focus on racial injustice or combating racial injustice and such. So yes, the first step is to get out of the United States, travel abroad, and just see where it takes me. I'm not someone who's too much focused on how much money I'm gonna make. I would like to, be somewhat financially stable. However, if I am working a mediocre job that brings me as much happiness as it needs to, and I'm abroad, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. I think that's another plus from learning about all these different cultures, is that there are a lot of privileges just within living in the United States that is not talked about as much as it needs to be. So yes, freshman year Shannon to 4th year Shannon is quite a different person, but that's kind of what you want to happen within college. Luckily, the World Languages Department helped me kind of figure out what I really truly want to focus on. Sorry, that was a lot, but it's my testimony. So let's see what else. Excuse me. What's your favorite thing or something uniquely wonderful about each of the languages you study? I love this question. There is more than one thing I could talk about within each of these languages, but specifically in Arabic, my favorite thing, and I can't tell you why it's my favorite, outside of learning a new alphabet that is not difficult to learn, I love writing from right to left. Truly. I don't know why it makes sense for me. It is my favorite thing. I just feel when you're learning a language and you're taking these step-by-step things to figure out how a letter sounds and how it differentiates from the other letters that you're learning in a completely new alphabet, you're putting words together, you're memorizing that vocabulary, and then you're writing it down from left to right. Basically a pro. That is my favorite thing about Arabic. For Chinese, I think my favorite and also biggest obstacle is that one word can mean 75 different things. Okay, obviously it's a tonal language. You have to focus on the tones and the context it's given and to understand what kind of sentence you're trying to put together. However, within that fluidity, outside of the tones, one word that, say you have a noun, could be changed into an adjective, an adverb, whatever grammar construct you want it to be, it can be changed into. kind of with English when you're talking about man, manly. It's much harder to do in Chinese because of the tone, because of the placement it's put in with the sentence. However, it's so cool how you're able to do that, and it's still common sense to everyone else around you. So yes, coolest thing, biggest obstacle, but I enjoy it nonetheless. I think overall, when I'm learning languages, the biggest thing that I've been able to dissect is I like puzzles. And putting words together to make a sentence as a puzzle intrigues me very, very much. However, when it comes to translating, I think I get too caught up in the exact definition, which kind of gets tricky with Chinese when you're using it as fluid as they do use it. Mandarin, to be exact. Sorry if I didn't specify that. But yes. What did I say? Spanish. My favorite thing about Spanish is slang, especially when you are learning the dialects that you are studying within Spanish. It's very fun. The slang is completely the opposite of how you would expect it to be, but it's very enriching to see how the different dialects say things in a more colloquial way. And with that being said, when I'm tying it into how my linguistic studies fits into my study of languages, it makes things so much clearer to understand why a dialect speaks the way that they do speak, including like the syntax or the word order of a sentence and the connotation behind each sentence. It also kind of completes that thought that you have your first year of learning a language of, well, why is it being said like this if it doesn't translate completely to English? I think that's one thing that doesn't get talked about enough, is that if you don't entirely know your native language, which means doing well in English grammar, then you're not going to be as great as you need to be to understand a different language. So that's something I have taken away within my linguistic studies, which is why I decided this year I was going to minor in it, which is why I'm doing a 5th year. But I think it's necessary. I would encourage other language learners to possibly, do a linguistics minor or a translations minor, because I just think it makes sense. It gives you a whole encompassing perspective of what a language is. Luckily, I've had the opportunity to take the Intro to Chinese linguistics and Spanish linguistics classes. It also helps a lot with understanding vocabulary. But yes, I'm going on a lot of tangents. I apologize. Are there more languages in your future? Which ones and why? I get asked this a lot. I think for right now, I'm gonna take a step back. I've got quite the load. I'm not gonna say that I won't. I'm sure something else will interest me. I think possibly Japanese is one language I may look into, mostly because they use loan words from Mandarin Chinese. So I think that might be an easy access to get into another language. However, Russian intrigues me, German intrigues me, a lot of languages intrigue me, but I need to calm down. Because I will say, I did get in over my head. I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. We're fine. However, you have to do work outside of the classroom to really remember what you are learning. It doesn't end in that 50-minute class, that hour, 15-minute class that you had, because if you don't continue applying yourself, you will lose that language. I think COVID taught me that immensely. Junior year, learning a language online is extremely difficult, and you have to have the will to keep going. I think, to be quite honest with you, having classes online is kind of what set me back, specifically in Chinese. But you just have to have that motivation of, I want to learn this. You have to have a reason for wanting to learn the language. And I do, because I want to get the heck out of here. Yes, you have to keep continuing. Go to the extracurricular courses that may intersect with your major, because that's really important to continue to stay engulfed in whatever it is you're learning. I know it may seem a lot and you may have to take up weekends, but after you graduate, it's going to be 100% worth it, and you're going to have so much more confidence in yourself and appreciation for your own work ethic that it'll pay off. It will pay off. 100% guarantee. Let's see. How has your multi-language study impacted you personally and or professionally? So, personally, I don't like admitting this. Personally, I have noticed that when I don't know a word in one language, I easily know it in another, which is both so cool and extremely aggravating. Because I will be telling a friend some gossip or my mom about my day or something, and I cannot remember a word in English. Let's make that an instance in English. But I could tell you in Spanish or Chinese or Arabic, and yet it is not coming to mind as to what it is in English. So it's kind of cool in that way, where I'm like, oh, dope, like, cool. However, when you can't remember your own native language at some point of the day, it's kind of like, maybe we should take some steps of action and let's evaluate the situation a little bit longer. So yes, that has been something that has impacted me personally. Professionally, I think I kind of addressed that with the amount of opportunities that just learning a language, and not even choosing a specific vocabulary you need within a language. Like, say you're going into the medical sector, and so you need to learn a vocabulary around the medical sector within hospitals, nursing, how to talk to a patient, things like that. Just learning the language itself, a language, no matter what the job is something, like I said, I could not comprehend. However, it is doable. I know from experience, if you would like to hear more about that, I would be more than happy to share. But once you learn a language, do not feel like you have to stick to one thing, because you will learn that there are so many things that people are interested to get out of you. So don't be discouraged to learn a language. I think people that choose to learn a language outside of the requirement that's needed to graduate are already doing themselves a huge favor. But yeah, I think I've answered all the prompts. My biggest takeaway I think that I would like to end this on is within the World Language Department at the University of Iowa, I can say with 100% confidence the professors that you are learning from, without a doubt, 100% truly care about your success. I know as a college student we all deal with circumstances that are just out of our control. Take COVID for instance, but I know that there are other issues that we don't speak out a lot about, and I have had the honor to be surrounded by professors that really do care about you, not only your success, but how you are doing. And it's really nice to see that they see when you're not okay, and they want to make sure that the classroom is a safe space for you, not just because you may be speaking incorrectly. They're also great about encouraging you to speak up in class. I have social anxiety, so even speaking up in English gives me nightmares. However, and it's still something I'm working on, to be completely honest. I don't, that pressure of feeling like you're gonna fail or you're gonna be wrong, I think that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot either. But I have had the pleasure of feeling completely comfortable in the classes I've taken, and that is 100% credit to the professors that taught me, and I will be forever grateful for that feeling. I did not get that until college. So yeah, don't be discouraged. They are probably the nicest people that you will ever meet within a teacher-student relationship. But yeah, be brave. You got it. I promise you do. If I got it, you got it. All right, bye.